Hello, my name is Joe, and this is my journey of replacing my roof 100% solo, all by myself. I am starting by ripping out the soffit boards around the underside of the roof. The reason I am doing this is because I will be building a vented roof deck. Traditionally, houses were built with soffits to allow the roof cavity to breathe. Unfortunately, in this case, they got all clogged up with birds' nests and who knows what else. So I'm going to need to rip these out to get started on the roof. And in replacement, I need to cover up the openings with these boards, which I caulked and nailed into place. And I just cut them to size, nailed them in, and caulked them up. This is the final product right here. And this is me starting to rip up the roof. I used a shovel, and this roof was a bit difficult. It was 4 layers of shingles, and the underlayment of the roof was actually attached with old beer cans. So whoever did this roof before me did a poor job, but I will be fixing it up. This is after 1 day of work. I stripped one side of the roof. I also had to cut out the rotted decking, and this is a shot of me cutting that out using a shovel to pry it up. And then I needed to cut some new boards for the decking to replace the ones I cut out. Cut it, nailed it into place. This is what it looked like before. Another shot of before and after. And this is me putting some underlayment on. Got to make sure that they overlap so no water can get underneath there. Use the fasteners to nail them down. This is what it looked like after putting all the underlayment on. And I also put some roof caulking over each one of the fasteners just as extra security to make sure that no water could get underneath the underlayment. Here's me loading furring strips and insulation board onto the roof. I used R5 4x8 foam board sheets, and these are just furring strips from Home Depot. And you just stack them down the line and put furring strips over the foam boards, and you also want to tape the seams as well. And this is what it looks like after completing the foam board. I used ring shank nails to nail down these furring strips. I wanted to show you what my roof assembly looks like at the edge here. I have the flashing, which sits on the outside here. Over the flashing, I have my ice and water guard. Because I'm going to have a vented roof deck, as you can see, there's a gap between these two boards that's open. This is an area for air to get in here, and the gap continues all the way up to the ridge of the roof. I've installed a bug screen. I was able to bend it into place over the furring strips. The metal sheets of the roof will lay on top of this, keep this whole area open so that air can get up in here and dry out the roof deck and also vent it during those hot summer days. This is me loading the roofing panels onto the roof. The panels are 14 feet long, and I can just lean them up against the carport and climbed up and pulled them up from there. They are pretty light and easy to lift. Make sure that you wear some gloves and watch out for any wind. This is how I loaded 36 panels onto the roof, all by myself. Installing metal panels is really easy. It's as simple as laying a bead of caulk, laying the panel over the lip of the previous panel, and then screwing it down. Panels are installed onto the furring strips, and the screws drill through the panel, through the furring strip, through the insulation board, and into the studs of the house. I used a combination of 1.5 and 4-inch long roofing screws. I made sure to put the screws every 6 inches on the metal panels. And it's especially important at the edges of the roof where the wind can get under the panels and potentially tear them off. If the roof you're building is visible from the ground, it's important to screw them in a line so it looks nice. My roof was not visible from the ground, so I just screwed them down randomly. The furring strips that I installed on this roof are 1x4s, and the long ones are 14 feet long, and the short ones are 8 feet long. I used a combination of screws and ring shank nails to attach the furring strips. Ring shank nails are like a halfway between a screw and a nail because they have an edge to them. They are easily installed with an air nailer. And when installing these panels, make sure to check that they are straight and lined up with the previous panel. That way the bottom of the roof panels that are visible from the ground will look straight. I would not recommend taking on a roofing project during the summer months. I did this project in the early spring when it was in the 70s. But if it was in the middle of the summer, this would be completely miserable. Once you get going on installing the panels, it's pretty easy. You just install one after another, making sure that straight with the one before it. So here's the roof after I got all the panels down. Put some L flashing on the edges here. The roof laid underneath the L flashing, the ridge cap on top of them both. Here's a shot of the ridge cap that I put down all the way down the roof, and that just covers the gap between this side of paneling and this side of paneling right here. So I have these boots right here. I had a vent here and I have a vent there, and it slips right over the vent. Just seal the edge with the roofing caulk, and that's how it looks right there. Another key thing to note is to put roofing caulk over each one of the fasteners. The rubber piece over time can degrade, and that will cause a roof leak. Metal roofs are a lot more durable than asphalt roofs as well. I mean, this roof with proper maintenance can last, up to 50 years. Especially in a place like Texas, have hot sun. It's very reflective, as you can see. It's a very sunny day today and it's reflecting right off. Also, we have hailstorms, which can completely destroy an asphalt roof. In my experience, it bounces right off metal pretty easily. Installing a metal roof is pretty easy relatively to an asphalt roof. It's possible for one person to do a job like this. I've been working on this for about a month, doing this part-time 3 days a week. So this has been the journey of me installing this roof. I'm finally ready to move on to the next part of the project. For the complete journey, follow me at www.diylifeguide.com. I will show you the full tutorial step by step, and that way you can do it too.